We interrupt my Haunted Stitches quilt series to acknowledge a very important celebration, and that is I hit 25,000 subs. And if you are new to my channel, I make YouTube play button mini quilts to celebrate some of these great accomplishments here on my channel. And my next play button was at 25,000 subs, and we did it. Actually, you all did it. And I owe it all to you guys, so thank you so much. And as I promised, once we hit that 25 sub, I promised to do a Ask Me Anything. So I will do my best to try and answer as many questions as possible to fill up the video's time. So let's get started, and in no particular order, my first question is, what long arm do I use? Why did I choose that brand? And what are my favorite features? Now, I have a video discussion all about this in much more detail, which I will have linked down below in the description because I also have some horror stories. Now, this is technically my third long arm machines, and I've had a lot of bumps in the road, just to put that lightly. And really, the most important rule is if you are looking to buy a long arm, you need to test drive all the long arm machines as possible, preferably the ones that are near you or closest to you because of maintenance issue, but do try and test as many machines as possible. But either way, I do own a Bernina Q24 with a robotic system, and my favorite feature would be it is super, like I mean super easy to use compared to a lot of other machines because it is much more modernized. So if you are a little bit tech savvy, then it's going to be a walk in the park with learning how to use especially the robotic system. Now, I was able to learn everything in 2 hours. No joke. That's how long my class was. Now, the next question I have is, when you buy enough of one collection for 8 or more quilts, along with a couple of bolts of backing and bindings, who do you buy from? Now, honestly, everywhere. I sadly am not sponsored, although I do wish I was, but that's okay. But since I purchased my own fabric, I have to be frugal about it. And there are actually multiple shops online that do offer discounts if you buy like X amount of yardage or if you buy a bolt, etc. Now, to name a few in no particular order, we have Hancock's of Paducah. They offer discounts in bulk buys, fat quarters, layer cakes, etc. They do a lot of discounts if you buy multiple of the same thing. Now, Fat Quarter Shop also does bulk discounts if you put in a code in the special notes section, not the coupon code section, because they have to manually edit it. It's not as easy as Hancock's of Paducah, but they still do it. And my favorite mom and pop store that has great discounts, but they are a little bit limited on a fabric selection, and that is Green Fairy Quilts. Now, these companies I have purchased a handful amount of times, too many to count, but there are sales out there. You just got to kind of find and hunt them down and just kind of keep an eye out. Now, next question is, you live in Texas and you want to find the thinnest batting possible, so what do I use? Now, I use Hobbs 80/20 blend in all the colors they have, natural and black mostly though. But as far as the thinnest, I actually do not know what is the thinnest out there, but the thinnest that I have personally used so far would probably be warm and natural. And next is, you also find yourself drawn to the darker and bolder colors for the quilts. What percentage of lighter fabric should you balance it out with? Now, this is actually a hard question because there really is no rule. I always go with whatever you think looks best and do what you like. Now, that always ends up the best outcome because you just get to play around with the colors, and if you like it, then that's really all that matters. But it is hard to answer because even I get comments and emails telling me that, oh, I shouldn't have placed certain fabrics with that fabric, or I should have picked a different background color, but that's okay. You can do whatever you like, but like I said, I do what I like and you do what you like, and that actually is all that really matters because it is a quilt that you are making, and that's the number one thing. Next question is, will I be making quilts with panels in the future? And yes, yes, I will. I will also do jelly roll quilt patterns as well. But panels are actually a little harder to do so since most websites never list the exact size of each block or design within that panel. So it's kind of mostly like a gamble since I design series well in advance and come up with quilting ideas, but it's also hard to come up with a quilt pattern with panels that I actually don't know how big they are. So it's a little bit much more difficult, but I am trying to and get that on the to-do list. But like I said, it is on the list of things to do for sure. And of course also jelly rolls because that's another one I keep getting asked about. Now, the next question we have I moved into our new home yet? And when I do, will I continue with the voiceovers in my videos or will we actually see you sew? And will I be doing more long arm videos? Now, ooh, this is actually a sensitive topic, but for those of you who are new, I was supposed to be moving to North Carolina around hopefully December this year, was the original goal. But sadly, that is not happening anytime soon. Long story short, there happens to be a forever long queue list for any builder just to get started. And that means breaking ground. Now, when COVID happened, there was a supply issue, which has gotten a lot better, but there now is a backlog of people who have been waiting before us during that time. And we didn't realize how far along this was because builders would mention, oh, it can take around 6 to 8 months to build your house or to build whatever. But now that we are on the list, then we are seeing that it's anywhere between 1 to 2 years before they even touch your property. Like it's kind of insane, but the builders there are far and few in between because of the type of style of home we are wanting to build. So we're just sadly in this waiting queue list until it's our turn. And it's only been a sensitive topic because I am so excited to move and to finally see some like vivid green and enjoy those Appalachian mountains and also see what that white stuff is that sticks on the ground during winter. But it's really because I have zero patience when it comes to moving because, well, I just really want to move. So I am super excited and I wish it was happening so much faster than what it is. But will I still be doing voiceovers? Now, honestly, I have no idea. I have goals that I want to achieve with my own YouTube channel and also personal sewing career, which hopefully I can turn this more into a career because that would be the total dream job for me, honestly. But if we are still just doing tutorial based, then I won't show my face because I actually prefer and love the straight to the point style of video because I do have ADHD and I want to see the tutorial and I want to get through it and I want to learn how to do it and that's it. But I have thought about doing a show the building process of my future sewing room once we do move, but honestly, who really knows how long or how far that is? And when it comes to major building developments, I honestly try not to get my hopes up because just the way our house is moving along right now, I'm not against it, but once again, it's mostly just for the style of videos that I am currently doing. And as of right now, I just see no need for it. Will I be doing more long arm videos? And I would love to. As of right now, I don't have the time. The great thing about the robotic system is while I am piecing the next quilt for you all and videoing it, I actually have my long arm machine going on in the background and quilting it. Now, if I were to personally quilt it, it kind of takes a day or two out of that routine. And at this moment in time, our life in the background is very busy and hectic, so I don't necessarily have the time, but I honestly really would like to. So it's not out of the question because I do want to do it. It's just I don't have the time right now, but I do want to make the time, but it's just there's a lot going on. Now, the next set of questions I have is, when piecing, what stitch length do I use? And that is a 2.5 stitch length. Now, I have no idea what that means in the technical terms, so if you do, put it down in the comments. But honestly, I just turn on my Bernina sewing machine, I clean it, I oil, and then I sew. The only time I lengthen my stitch is if I do like top stitching on bags, purses, etc. And the only time I shorten my length is when I do paper piecing, which that's usually around the number 2 on my sewing machine, but that's really all I know about that. I'm the wrong person to ask on that. I'm so sorry. Your next question was, is it okay to use cotton or polyester thread for piecing and quilting? And yeah, it's okay to use whatever you want to piece with. There is no rule. And if someone is telling you that there is a rule and you can only do that, then zone them out, because you do what you like. I use both, but probably like 90% of the time I use polyester thread. Number one, because my sewing machine maintenance is so much better. I always clean my machine every day. And since I use it daily and I oil my bobbins after every new bobbin or the new day, hands down, glide thread is so much easier and it's so easy to keep up with maintenance. Now, the second reason I also use polyester thread more is because we are a household with dogs, cats, and also the humans here are very rough with their quilts. And with that said, polyester thread is just so much stronger, and I personally need that extra strength, especially in this house. Now, I throw it in the wash, we go camping in the forest, the lake, we take it everywhere. They come on long car rides with us, and we really do abuse our quilts, but it's because we love them and they're everywhere and surrounding us all the time. And heck, I even make my dogs quilts. No joke. So we just like knowing that there is that little bit of extra durability within my quilts. And the only time I've ever had a piecing issue is when a dog accidentally ate a quilt. So that was sad, but that's really the only thing that we've ever had when it comes to piecing and the threads that we use. Plus, with quilting, polyester thread is nice and shiny, so I think of it like sparkles within the quilt. It's like that extra little something something. But if I do want the thread to blend in more, then cotton is also perfect for long arm quilting because it's a matte finish and it kind of blends in more into the fabric. So it's it has each type of thread has its own purpose, but my number one rule is do whatever you like and whatever your sewing machine likes. And the last question is, when are you going to create your quilting book? And the answer to that is very soon. It's actually wrapping up, but we still need to see the printed samples just to make sure it is presentable and looks great. But it's coming, and I do not have a deadline for that yet, but it's coming, don't worry. But we are now at the end of the video. If I have missed your question, I am so sorry, but I can only answer so many during the length of this video, and I have really stretched this one out as much as I can for you all. But as always, thank you all so much for your support. I highly appreciate each and every one of you, and my next YouTube play button celebration will be at 50,000 subs. So, can we once again make that happen within a year? We'll have to wait and see. So, until then, please subscribe to my channel for your next amazing quilt project.